Good evening and welcome to the Sports Locker. Tonight we're talking shooting after Team Gibraltar have returned from the IPSC European Handgun Championships, which took place in Hungary. It was a historic event for Gibraltar, with 17-year-old Luca Dmida becoming the first ever Gibraltarian junior to compete at the Europeans. And I'm very glad now to be joined by John, Luke, Stephen, Ethan and Shane, all part of Team Gibraltar, 3 of which were in Hungary. John, we'll start with you. How did it go?
It went very well. It was a great experience. The setup and the event was quite incredible. Over 1,700 people competing. So for Gibraltar to be there and represented, we were really thrilled. We had some good and bad shooting. For myself, it was probably my best performance at that level, so I was very pleased with that. For Luke, our first junior, I think the nerves were there, but he held his head high. He did very well against some very good shooters at his age level. And yeah, it's the first of many to come, I think, for Luke as a junior.
Luke, the headline act, how did it go?
Well, generally for me, I think it was just an incredible experience, full stop. Whether I did well, whether I didn't, being there and representing Gibraltar at a competition, like John said, it was over 1,700 competitors. This marked the biggest IPSC handgun competition in the world, as yet to come. So being there was enough for me. But overall, I did actually do quite well. I was very, very happy with how I've shot. This was definitely the best performance that I've ever had at a continental level, let alone at a level here in Gib and in Portugal.
And you finished in the top 10, which is,
which is good in my own respect, but there's still a lot of work to be done, and there's still progress to be made, and leaderboards to crawl higher up on.
Humble, I like it. Yeah. Stephen, you were supposed to go, but unfortunately you weren't able to make it. How bitter was that? That experience that you've just missed out on. It's not the first time you'd go compete internationally, though, but how difficult was that to have to miss out?
Quite difficult. This is one of those really peak calendar events that you build towards. We put in a lot of training, a lot of time and effort into that. But it's one of those things you can't really plan for. But that being said, it's good to see that the rest of the team was able to go, perform at a good level, come back feeling good about their performance as well.
Does it excite you being sat in between 2 youngsters, up-and-coming shooters?
Of course.
Did it keep you on your toes?
Oh, yeah. It's definitely good, because at the end of the day, the juniors are the future of the association. And when you're putting all that effort, again, like I said, into the training and the coaching of these juniors, see them get to that level and be up there in these events, especially in our region. They do podium quite often. It's a good feeling to see them up there and smiling and reaping the rewards of their efforts.
Even you were also supposed to go, but studies come first, important year for yourself. Were you glad you didn't go to become the first ever Gibraltarian to compete at junior level, or were you hoping he would go with you? Now you'll just be the first one by yourself. Had Ethan gone, it would have been both of you.
Whilst I take that very, 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 very well, and I loved being the first and currently only junior to go and compete at a continental level. Me and Ethan, we've been shooting together since, from the start. And most of everything we've done together as a group, as a partner, as a team, especially the first 2 of the soon-to-be-built Gibraltar junior team. And I think that me and Ethan have a lot... we do well together, for sure, definitely, and we get along very well, and it's an amazing experience for both of us. Yeah. But I was glad.
You were supposed to go, you qualified, so that in itself is an achievement. Talk us through your year of shooting to be able to make qualifying for the Europeans as well.
I'd been training for this for a while, but I knew, because I had my calendar sorted out, that I knew where it would place. It would be fat in the middle of all my GCSEs. I had 2 GCSEs that happened during the week of the championship, of the competition. So I knew I wouldn't be able to actually compete. But I was still training and I was still shooting during, and I had to take that break during my GCSEs since I had to study for it, which sucks. But I did put studying before it, though I'm still very excited to now get back into shooting now that they're finally over and have this summer to train and finally get to this next 1 and 2 weeks, which I'm very excited for.
Shane, do you feel like the performance matched the results? Do you feel like Team Gibraltar left it all out there in Hungary?
I think we did quite well. I didn't do as well as I hoped, but I enjoyed it. It is a good challenge. I went to the Europeans last time in Greece a few years ago, and we did the World Championships last year, which I did better at. But yeah, every now and then you have a little bit of a disappointment, but it's all start again. We're going to Portugal in a couple of weeks' time, and after this we should be quite good because we've had a lot of practice running around shooting in Hungary.
It's over 20 stages, and we'll put some footage of you guys shooting now in Hungary for anyone that's wondering what the sport is like. It's physically, it's mentally draining. Talk us through day one up until the last day, because it's a week-long shooting.
Correct, yeah. So we shot in different squads. So Luke was shooting with a squad of juniors. So Shane and I were able to go with him and help him and keep him focused and guide him through. So on each day he would go and shoot 6 stages. So over the 5 days or the 6 days, I think you shoot on 5 days or something like that. And we were able to go with him each time. So it was basically 2 hours to 2.5 hours of intense shooting, focusing on each stage, working out your stage plan, what you're going to do, and then implementing that plan and doing it. And then you're on to the next one. And then so you do 6 each day, and then Shane and I were shooting at alternative times or different times. So we'd be sorting Luke out in the morning, and then we'd be shooting in the afternoon, or vice versa.
A coaching cap on and then a shooting cap on.
So it was quite intense, yes.
Was there a moment you felt, Luke, that you had to really dig deep and kind of reset after being there for so long?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, Hungary was just an amazing experience. I mean, the first day, the third day, and the fourth day for me were incredibly exceptional. I had a great mindset going towards it. The second day was a bit of a nightmare. I had messed up a few times, and obviously, I mean, you said before, it's an extremely mentally draining sport, and that really goes to show. I mean, you can mess up one stage, and then the rest of the day can be just on the bad end, and I did have that on the second day. But what's really important, and which is why I loved having John and Shane there as an amazing support network, is just how you put your head down and you just carry on. And on the second day, that's exactly what I did. And I came back on the third and the fourth day with all my power, all my efforts, and I did really have to take a reset after that second day, but after that point it was amazing. And then coming home, I realized I had to slow down a little bit. I'd come home and I was used to waking up in Hungary and going to the range straight in the morning and then not leaving until the evening. So when I woke up in my own bed for the first time when I actually got home, it was actually quite draining. So I did have to take a bit of a reset and return to my normal life.
Well, nice to have a break as well. Not back from such an intense week.
That's true. But I loved it.
Stephen, I mean, at this level, the margins are tight, really, and stages can be very unforgiving. Talk us through perhaps having a bad day and how do you regroup and recover from that?
Well, you kind of have to practice what you preach. So one of the things that we teach any of our beginners and juniors is that you have to take every stage as its own individual, like mini competition in a way. And as Luke says, you can have one stage which can throw a really good competition. And like you say, the margins are very fine. I mean, I've had it happen to myself before as well, where just missing one target out of probably 300 that you're shooting in a competition can mean the difference between a podium and not. So you've got to really take that bump, put it behind you, reset before the next stage, because it can come down to literally just one shot between you being on a podium and not. So you just have to really just purge what just happened and take that next stage as a completely new competition in itself. And then the next one, and you just keep rolling through it that way.
And if I can interrupt as well, just to add to that, was obviously the training. You know, if you can do as much training as possible, and yeah, fortunately for us, we've got the Willis's Magazine practical range, so we train there as much as we can, and that training allows you to have the muscle memory and the reset to just be able to rely on that to carry through. Yeah,
I mean, basically having that facility has allowed us, and we've noticed it really, just looking at where we're placing internationally on the global rankings, because there is a global rankings page, is that globally we've bumped up quite a significant notch since having a dedicated facility where we can just literally any other day just go up there and just run through some drills and stages that we have set up ready to go. Rather than before that, we had to have to physically go there, build everything, take it down, because the next day somebody else was going to come and use it, and vice versa. So I think everyone's done really well after we've got that time to really go up there and just put rounds down range.
I mean, I suppose you're lucky enough of being 16, 17 that they'll get to benefit from this, of not being through the rough times like you
absolutely.
guys have. I mean,
Yeah.
Well, the challenge for us is we get to go to a competition like this, and really for myself and for the likes of Shane, we've got to worry because next time we might not qualify because these guys beat us.
you don't want to coach them too well. Then. You don't want to coach them too well.
Make sure they do everything with blindfolds on.
But like Luke was mentioning before, you got a junior team coming up, Ethan. I mean, how exciting is that? And it really must feel, and I've been going to the range up in Laffrey for some years now, it really must feel like it's kind of picking up among the juniors.
Yeah, me and my brother, one of the first juniors to join this junior team. And I've seen it, grow and people join and shoot. And it's incredible to see people my age and that likes to shoot with me. And I can, be with these groups of people. And it's such a nice environment to be there with people my own age. And I can relate to them and I can see them in school and we can talk about it. I've shot with Luke for 3 years now, maybe more, maybe less. And it's been incredible. And, having him with me for every competition I go to, I'm there with Luke and it's incredible.
Shane, going back to Hungary, was there a particular stage that you really loved and was there one that you didn't love?
It was a really good one that I loved, but I'm getting old now and my eyesight is not as good as I wished. And you're sitting on a barrel which was on chains and you had to shoot with your weak hand. So my best hand is my right hand, so just weak hand only. So you had to pick the gun up and shoot targets. Some of them were swinging and stuff. And I got all the ones that were moving, but there was one still right in front of me, and I thought I shot it, but I didn't. but I did. I hit I think I missed one shot and then picked up, so it was good. That was my favourite stage. Even though I missed the target, I still got quite a high hit factor for that one. And then there was a couple where I've just gone so fast, and I'm looking, and I think that I've hit it, and I haven't. And there was 3.
You could wear glasses, no? Contact lenses?
I have got contact lenses.
I think
it's the
they do
distance.
stuff for that,
It's the distance that's too far for me.
Yeah, the distances sometimes. You're trying to look at a 9mm
hole,
diameter hole
15, 20 metres
20
away.
meters.
Yeah.
It's hard to see it sometimes.
Do you still find yourself learning then from these experiences after being so many of them?
Yeah. I can't wait. World Championships, because I'll be over 70 then, so I'll be in the Grand Veterans. Was it Grand Veterans?
Grand Senior.
Grand Senior then, and there'll be less of them. If I can still move.
Finishes 3rd out of 3 people competing. Brings back a medal.
Well, there we go.
Yeah.
Well, guys, that's pretty much it for part 1. Join us again in part 2. You might have noticed we've got a couple of the pistols used in competition here out on the table. We'll get a tour of them and we'll keep on talking handgun shooting. Thank you very much. Welcome back to Sports Soccer. We're talking shooting after Team Gibraltar has returned from Hungary, competing in the IPSC European Handgun Championships. Guys, 2 events there, 1 production, 1 open. And maybe we can pick up, perhaps start with the gun that you use, Luke, the production gun. You want to pick it up? Yeah, go for it.
Right.
And maybe you can give us a little tour, because this is straight out the box, essentially.
This is my CZ Shadow 2. This pistol is predominantly used for production, which is a division in IPSC shooting. It's called production usually because it's referred to as just come off the production line. You can make very, very, very minimal changes to it. Yeah, you can see in John's open gun very soon, there's a red dot, there's a charging handle, there's a mag well. Those are all upgrades, which massively helps on shooting. The thing with production is that it keeps it all fair to every single shooter who's shooting production. It keeps it as fair as possible, so everyone's using more or less the same system. And for juniors, it's great because there's no unfair advantage that any other shooter might have.
Cost as well.
Oh, cost as well. John's costs predominantly more than mine. It's a lot larger, shoots a lot more powerful rounds. Mine is a lot cheaper because there's obviously very minimal upgrades made to it. You can make tweaks here and there, but other than that, no major game-changing upgrades.
And we can see the mags are on the table because these guns are, of course, not loaded, obviously. Tell us a bit about how much fairer makes the competition, and is it a matter of safety that you just choose to shoot production, or they choose to shoot production for juniors? Is it a master?
The club has a number of pistols that we let juniors use that are predominantly production guns. So most of the juniors will start off shooting .22s because of the cost, obviously, for parents and because it's easier to handle. And then when they are competent enough, they'll move up to a 9mm production gun like that one, which the club has so they can use. So that's pretty much where they start, and that's what they'll start to compete with. If they wanted to go on to shooting open or standard division, they're more than welcome to do that. But obviously then there's a cost involved because they've got to buy a gun.
Yeah, you mentioned the cost there, so just to run some numbers by me, what would that cost, that production gun?
This particular pistol would cost brand new right now about £1,600
roughly.
Yeah.
Okay, and now I want to ask you to pick up your gun, John, and you can run us through that and that cost as well. You can put yours back if you want. Luke, thank you very much. So this one now is, or would say, a Ferrari of guns now.
Yeah, the easiest way to explain the divisions is to look at it as motor racing. You're going to have the guys racing Formula Ford, which is production. They're all in the same sort of car, with the same sort of costs involved in that. Open is the guys racing Formula One. So as Luke says, you've got a number of things on it that make it go faster. You've got the compensator, you've got a red dot sight, you've got a thumb rest, you've got all of these things to help you with your shooting, but you are shooting a much more powerful round, and everybody else in your division is shooting the same sort of gun. So, you're all on the equal playing field, so it comes down to being faster and more accurate.
Stephen, can you talk to us a little bit about the pull of the club and attracting people? I mean, what is so, I suppose, exciting about shooting a gun, really?
Well, I think it's one of these things that I think a lot of people just don't know that it's there.
Yeah.
And since we've been a lot more predominant in social media now, especially the junior network we've got going, they spread this to their friends in school and so on. We've actually seen quite a significant uptake in our membership applications. And a lot of people just want to get into it because they think it's something like, the movies they want to try and so on. But there's I think especially with the younger generation, they want to get into it to actually, to actually compete and try it out to do well. So, I think that's...
it's a fun and an exciting sport. It does take time to get to the level where you can do this because obviously we are dealing with real handguns and we've got to make sure people are competent and safe.
I mean, how do you manage that at the club, for example, safety, also paperwork? Because I imagine there must be some paperwork involved in having to
quite a bit of paperwork. I mean, we have quite a thorough membership process that we have to go through. We work very closely with the relevant government departments like the RGP and so on, and we've got a good relationship with them. So we've got to go do all those checks with the RGP, make sure that these individuals are eligible to actually be doing what we want them to be doing. And then internally, we also have quite a thorough training program as well. So once they've gone through all that vetting and they come into the association, they become an associate member, we'll put them through quite a detailed training program. And if for whatever reason we think that the individual either is not suitable or not the character that we think should be dealing with it with these kind of tools, we'll obviously have to not allow them to progress. But we've yet to really have any major problems, really.
I mean, Ethan, I imagine you're quite lucky in the sense that I believe your mum shoots as well, so you're kind of raised into it. I'm not going to say you didn't have a choice to join the sport, but I mean, what is that like growing up in a sport that you know so well, but then perhaps you go to school and it's not as common as football, basketball and so on?
Well, I think it was around 10 is when my mother started to go shooting, and I'd go to the range and I'd watch her, and I thought, this is cool, this is like the movies, the games I play, it's incredible. So I'd wait until I was old enough until I could shoot, and once I started, I just couldn't stop because I loved it so much. It was a sport that I was passionate about, and I think I'm relatively okay at it. So I enjoyed keep shooting it, and people at school, I tell them about it because I hope more people to join, and the genuine interest does spur, and I try to show people that it's not all about military and police and more, it's a sport and it's a fun thing that you can do after school, and I love it.
It is a sport, but I suppose it's something that maybe people don't get to see on TV very often or even at all, really, because for anyone that's maybe picturing Olympic shooting, it's nothing like that.
No, not at all. I mean, a lot of people, when you say shooting, they think you're talking the Olympic-style shooting. And you know, a lot of people look at that and go, "Oh, I don't know if I want to do that." There's a lot of athleticism. You've got to run, you've got to move different positions. It is quite challenging, and I think what can be very appealing to a lot of youngsters out there is it's an individual sport. Although we shoot in teams and that, it's you out there on the line. It's not. So for those people that are looking for a sport where they can do it as an individual, people that aren't into the big team sports like football and basketball and that, this is certainly an option to consider.
I mean, echoing what John's saying, it's actually one of the most inclusive sports that I can think of, and I know I'm quite biased in saying that, but like John says, you're on that stage shooting on your own, so if there's individuals who don't like actually being there competing face-to-face against another team or individual, you know, they get to do that. But not only that, but they're competing within their age groups. So like you have the super juniors, you've got juniors, you have overall category, you've got seniors.
There's a chance to win something.
So
win
yeah,
some events.
exactly.
Yeah.
So it's not like you're going to get a junior like Ethan or Luke, which move like ninjas on a stage, and going to get the likes of the rest of us trying to keep up with them. You know, we're going to compete against people in our own age category, so everyone gets a good chance at, you know, doing well and podium finishing.
And I think you mentioned in part one that there's, I mean, you can carry on shooting forever pretty much because you're going to enter the over 70s event next year. So there really is no excuse to pick it up because you can carry on shooting until...
No, absolutely. And, you know, you can make of it what you want because there are a lot of competitions you can go to. It can be really exciting. You can come and train regularly, or you can do it as a, you know, more of a more casual thing, and I only want to go to 1 or 2 competitions in a year, whatever. But it is an exciting sport, and it's one that we are really pushing for Gibraltar and for our juniors, both male and female. We welcome as many lady shooters and young girls to come and join if they want to, because those teams we can build up as well. And you know, there are opportunities for them. The girls, let's say we have a team of junior girls and junior boys. Ultimately, they won't compete against each other. The girls will be in the junior girls division and so on. So everybody's competing against like for like, and it makes it really fun and exciting.
Does that elevate Gibraltar's kind of prestige when you go to these Europeans, these worlds, and think, oh, Gibraltar's quite a small place, you've now got a junior team. I mean, they see Luke shoot at 17.
Yeah.
What's it like when you go there and people find out about Gibraltar?
It's incredible.
They're quite surprised half the time.
They're like, oh, how big is Gibraltar? And you say, oh, we're only 30,000. They're, wow. And, you know, we go to competitions in Portugal and other places, and we'll have juniors, and they will call them onto the podium every time without fail and comment how important it is to have juniors coming through the system. And it shows you how valuable it is for the sport, for us in Gibraltar, but also how big a part Gibraltar's playing in the world on the international stage here, because we've got so many juniors coming through the system that other countries, I think, are jealous of.
So per capita, we're actually probably the biggest country in the world for IPSC in terms of like per capita amount of shooters that we have. I mean, we're literally probably the biggest out there, because considering our population size, you know, the 100 odd members that we have, it's massive considering percentage-wise how many of our population actually shoots and competes.
Having said that about Gibraltar, is the sport growing internationally then, or is it?
Yeah. It's one of the fastest growing shooting sports, definitely. But even recently, there's been moves to become parts of the International Olympic Committee, alongside the likes of the ISSF disciplines as well. So they've reached that level now that they are well up there as a recognised sport. Yeah.
Well, guys, running out of time. Very quickly, Luke, before I spoke to you, you said this would motivate you for the Worlds. 2029, has it motivated you?
For sure. I mean, by 2029, I'll be roughly 21. I will still make the junior age cutoff. And I'm looking to make a massive effect in Worlds. I mean, it's now, for the next 3 years, pushing it every single opportunity I can get, making sure that I'm ready for that World shoot in
Italy.
In Italy in 2029. I'm sure Ethan will be joining me.
Ethan, well, university, maybe you'll clash. Hopefully not, eh?
Hopefully not.
Hopefully not. Stephen, I hope you don't miss this one.
Oh, no.
And hopefully you can win something in the over 70s,
I will
Shane.
be there.
Well, guys,
we do generally get more medals than I think any other sport in Gibraltar. on the European stage anyway.
This year, wow.
No, always.
Always.
Yeah, or we have done over the last
Fantastic.
3 years.
Fantastic. Well, guys, thank you very much for coming along.
Thank you.
All right, thank you very much.
Thanks very much.
Well, that's it for Sports Talker. A big thank you to all my guests and a big thank you at home for tuning in. They got their eyes set on the 2029 World Championships already.